What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today we're going to be talking about Grammarly and their AI tools and how it is actually able to enhance my daily workflow. So even though you guys see a bunch of videos on the channel, I would say the majority of my job actually comes down to sending emails, talking to different companies, writing proposals, and also putting together concepts for videos. And most of the time, that involves using a whole suite of tools, and something that I've been using for quite a while is Grammarly. All the way back to my university days, when I was a student, it was already the leading platform when it comes to being able to enhance and improve your writing. And I would always type up documents and then bring them externally to Grammarly to then refine and polish. But instead, now Grammarly is an AI writing partner that has a whole bunch of tools that not only focus on things that made it great, but also being able to use AI to expand, improve, extrapolate, build on the tone of what you're currently working on, and also deliver the approach that you have intended for your piece of writing. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of Grammarly's best AI features, demonstrate them, show you how I use it in my daily workflow and how it has become so important, but most importantly, how it can help you as well. And I also want to give a huge thanks to Grammarly for sponsoring this video. In today's video, I'm going to be taking 3 different examples of how I write on a daily basis and show you guys how Grammarly is able to build a customized approach to each one and using the AI writing assistants to help my workflow. From writing Instagram and social media captions, to business emails and company pitches, to video scripts for myself, it can really assist you in any part of the process, from using AI chat to brainstorm if you're looking for a starting point on your idea, taking existing writing, putting it into Grammarly, and having the proofreader, humanizer, and paraphraser guide you through the process, to the end of the process where you can utilize expert review and reader's reaction to give you the final result. It really adds to the steps in the writing process to really take your delivery and your ideas to the next level. As I write, it will give me a bunch of suggestions on how I can improve my text. It will also give me an overall score. And I personally am usually trying to get suggestions for improvement, either lengthening or shortening a piece, maybe brainstorming and researching something factual for a certain area. Say I have like a product review. I already have a lot of information about like my opinions about the product and why I think it's great, but I might also want to have a little section with just the pure raw specs for my tech audience. You can also have Grammarly AI assist you with an introduction or a conclusion. With the chat function, it just makes things so easy, and it is essentially like having a writing assistant to be able to bounce ideas off of at any given time. So now that we've talked about how Grammarly and their AI writing tools work, let's jump into my 3 real-world examples that I use on essentially a daily basis for as long as I've been in the YouTube space. So I would say what I spend the most of my day on is actually on emails, and it's what I use Grammarly for the most. I personally really like to sit down and do emails. It is a very fun part of the process that allows me to talk to companies, look at all the different opportunities and campaigns, and a lot of times the most important thing when it comes to responding to emails is sounding like yourself, but also sounding professional and persuasive. And as I write up different emails, I have like a typical template and way that I approach things, but every single project is a little bit different. There might be certain emails where I'm more familiar with the person or I've already met them before, and others where we are just making an initial introduction. For this example, I'm writing a brand new business email to a company that I've never talked to before. I want to sound personable, but I am working based on a template, but I also want to sound knowledgeable about their company and industry to get them to want to work with me on a project. So say I write out my email in Grammarly, it is all ready to go, but then from there, once I'm done my email and I'm happy with it for the most part, I can jump into AI chat, and from there I can use the chat to brainstorm ideas, shorten it, change the approach, and the delivery, and I think that is what has made Grammarly AI so useful. A lot of times I also like to just lay out different points when I'm writing an email, all the things that I want to hit, the different topics, things that I want to explain. And in a negotiation process, you might have like the creative approach as well as the business approach and the budget, the timeline, the action. There's a lot of different things that you need to bring together. And with Grammarly, I can also put that all together, write out my entire email, and use tools such as Humanizer to make it sound less businessy or neutral and instead make it more personable and also, most importantly, more authentic to the intended audience. The other example of how I use Grammarly is to write video scripts. Again, I like to start with different bullet points and things that I really want to mention, including key facts, information about a product, and also have some opinions that I've built over time. As I write my script, I like to have portions that are maybe a little bit more scripted out and other ones that are just cue points and bullet points that I would then reference from when I'm making the video. And through Grammarly, I can have it actually proofread my main script and ensure that there isn't too many filler words, pauses, be able to keep certain sections a little bit more synthesized by shortening it. And on top of that, I can also utilize the paraphraser to really make it sound more casual, because a lot of times things can sound a little bit too scripted when you write it out. With the paraphraser, it takes my writing and instead of just having like a boring document, it can adapt the approach to the intended audience, similar to what the Humanizer is able to do, but instead adjust the tone of the assignment. The next example of how having an AI companion has been so useful is for writing captions. A lot of times one of my least favorite parts of posting is having to write a caption, whether it is for Instagram or for Instagram stories. I might have a few different things that I have to write about and need to be included in the scope of work, but after I've listed every single thing out and kind of wrote up my version of it, I might feel like it needs to be a little bit longer or shorter or adapted. In some cases, you also just want to be straight to the point or bring in other topics. And so with Grammarly, after I've written out in this example what I'd like to say in the caption, I can then use the research tools and generative AI to actually build upon certain areas that I want to talk about a little bit more. For example, for a resort or a hotel caption, I might want to talk more about the amenities that this place has to offer, the restaurants, narrow in on some of the accolades of the resort, also include my own experience, which is the more human element to it. Whether you're doing a business email, a presentation, or a caption, you can end the entire process with an expert review. And from there, Grammarly offers personalized, topic-specific feedback to elevate your writing inspired by leading professionals and authors who specialize in that subject. I think what I love about Grammarly is just how involved it has been throughout my entire career. I've been a pro user for so many years now, and a lot of my different captions and important emails, letters to employees have all been done with the help of Grammarly. And what's important is that it doesn't write for you, but instead it writes with you and helps you become a better writer. With the AI tools, I've been able to build upon that and use latest technology and tools from a productivity standpoint in all aspects of my writing. If you're stuck, for example, you can brainstorm with AI chat. A lot of times being a good writer involves talking to people, having somebody to bounce ideas off of and see how they can be included to build a good piece. But with the power of AI, you can just go ahead and chat with the actual chat box. And with the AI editor, it'll help you come up with ideas, research topics, and just help you get unstuck when you feel like you've kind of hit a brick wall when it comes to the process. A lot of creatives, even outside of writing, definitely experience this when it comes to even coming up with filming concepts. And I think in the world of YouTube and in the business that I am in, there are a whole bunch of scenarios where you might have a whole bunch of ideas of one thing and none of the other, and being able to bridge that with a starting point of what you're already very knowledgeable about is how you end up with the best final result. So as you can see, Grammarly is a big part of my day, and I feel like there are so many aspects of my workflow that involve writing that I didn't really realize before. If you had told me that this job was going to involve this much writing, I probably wouldn't have gone down the rabbit hole as far, but after 15 years in the industry, industry. And with Grammarly being a very important part of my productivity workflow, it is so great to see how AI has been able to be implemented in this entire ecosystem and essentially give you strong creative tools in areas that I couldn't have imagined before. But otherwise, if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, and I'm gonna leave a link down below if you want 20% off Grammarly Pro, and I'll see you all in the next one.